Hey everyone, Grantfly here, back with another pre-modern video. This time I'm going to be running this deck through a Contraption league. Contraption is a new format, I guess, that Daybreak has added to Magic Online, which will like contain rotating different formats within it. And right now they are having pre-modern as the format. And I think the plan is for them to bring Premodern as its own separate format to Magic Online next year, early next year, I think. So that's very exciting. The leagues have been popping off, and it's given me an opportunity to tried a lot of different ideas a lot more quickly than I would have if I were just, playing casual games or playing in the Community Premodern series. Like, even though that is great, it's a little bit slower, or actually a lot slower than playing leagues on demand on Moto. So I cycled through a few different ideas that were not quite good enough. I can show you those really quick. One of them was a blue-red welder kind of prison-like deck using Squee, Goblin Welder, Merfolk Looter, Frantic Search. This deck is a cool idea, but it is just a little bit too much wheel spinning, and the threats you eventually get are not necessarily even that great by the time you get them. And this other one was a prison deck based around Static Orb, Trickster Mage to tap down Static Orb, and Fire Ice. And again, neat idea, but didn't really fully lock the game up the way it needed to. So these have been some experiments with the prison archetype that didn't really work out. So the next thing I wanted to try out was some decks based around Devastating Dreams, which is a card that I think is very powerful but doesn't see a lot of play in pre-modern for a pretty good reason, which is that it's not that good against the top decks. Like against Stiflenought, you're not really going to be able to kill a Phyrexian Dreadnought with this. I should go over what it does. You discard X cards at random, and each player sacrifices X lands of their choice, and it deals X damage to each creature. So it's great against creature decks. It's not great against Dreadnought. Replenish and Enchantress don't really play creatures, but killing their lands can still be good. But discarding is part of the cost, so if it's countered, it can be kind of bad. So the way to mitigate that, I think, is to play some cards you would be okay discarding. So I filled out the rest of this deck with a Quiet Speculation package, sort of a small one. So we've got a couple Deep Analysis, 3 Roar of the Worms, a Ray of Revelation, and a Volcanic Spray. So these are cards that have flashback. You can put them into your graveyard with Quiet Speculation, and if you discard them with Devastating Dreams, you can flash them back, in theory. I've got a couple of Anurid Brushhoppers to also, for 2 reasons. One, it facilitates discarding these cards, flash them back if you need another discard outlet, and it also is a 3/4, so it's pretty good at living through a Devastating Dreams. I was playing Wild Mongrel in an earlier version, but there's some tension there because you need to discard to pump the Wild Mongrel's power and toughness, but you also need to discard to play Devastating Dreams. So in practice, it's pretty difficult to actually get your Wild Mongrel to live through a Devastating Dreams and have enough cards to do both. So I think Brushhopper works a little bit better. And I've also seen people playing Werebear, so I'm playing 4 of these. We'll see how that looks. It has an advantage of helping you, tapping for greens, so it can help you cast Roar of the Wurm or cast 2 spells in a turn. And then if you can get to Threshold, it will also have 4 toughness. And this is part of the cost on Devastating Dreams, so whatever cards you discard will count for Threshold. So it has a pretty decent chance of living through it. And then for Silver Knights, this is a card that is pretty good in the format because there's a lot of red decks and red removal. And then, of course, it has the benefit of living through Devastating Dreams because it has protection from red. To round it out, we have 4 Swords Plowshares because this is just, I was playing an earlier version that didn't really have, it was just rug colors, but I found it was very difficult to win without having like another good removal spell. So Swords Plowshares is the best one. We're already playing Silverknight, so we're playing white already. And then to try and make this mana work, since we're playing double red, double white, green, and blue cards, we're playing 4 Mox Diamonds, which I think is probably a necessity, and then a bunch of 5-color lands: City of Brass, Gemstone Mine, Grand Coliseum, Reflecting Pool, and Undiscovered Paradise. And then we're also playing Tithe. This is a card you can search for your instant. You can search for planes. If an opponent controls more lands than you may search for 2 planes. So this works with Mox Diamond, obviously, if you can get an extra planes. It also is an extra card for Devastating Dreams and Brushhopper to a lesser extent. And this was an attempt to try and help fix the mana and help get some extra cards for Devastating Dreams. There's not a lot of ways to get extra cards. You could play Accumulated Knowledge, but that's pretty slow. You could play Sligh, and I did have that in earlier versions, and maybe that would be something to try again. Sligh and Careful Study is another way to go because, you can discard Sligh to the Careful Study, you can discard it to Brushhopper, you can discard it to Devastating Dreams, although it doesn't necessarily accomplish that much if you don't have like a later way to take advantage of having those extra Slighs back in your hand. And so that was kind of my main issue with it is, you can discard Sligh and get them back, but they don't really do anything unless you play a lot of other things. Like Wild Mongrel could make use of them. Careful Study can make use of them, but there's not that many ways to do it. So that's why I wanted to try out the Tithe package instead, since it also kind of works with Mox Diamond pretty well. So in the sideboard, we have a few Graveyard Hate cards with Tormod's Crypt, 2 of these, and a Phyrexian Furnace. We have a Zuran Orb to try and help against the red decks. I'm not sure how the red matchup is going to be because on the one hand, Silverknight is good, and Devastating Dreams is actually pretty good against them. However, Deep Analysis is not good, and having 8 lands that deal you damage or actually 10, is not ideal either, not to mention Price of Progress. So I don't know how that's going to work out on balance, but we'll see. 3 Hydroblasts, 3 Pyroblasts. That's one nice perk of playing a essentially 5-color mana base, although I'm actually only playing 4, is that you can play a bunch of good sideboard cards. So we get these, we get more disenchant effects in the form of Seal of Cleansing, which I think is better than Naturalize because you can play it out preemptively if you want a Devastating Dreams later. Although, white and green, we have about equal access, I think. An extra Volcanic Spray to work with Quiet Speculation, and a Pyroclasm in cases where you want 2 damage, like against goblins, you really might want the 2 damage card, and an extra Aura of Silence. So the plan against Dreadnought is just to board out the Spray, the Dreams, and the Ray of Revelation for the 3 Pyroblasts and the 2 Seals and Aura of Silence. I think that will be a hard matchup, but maybe it could be winnable. And the other top decks, the Devastating Dreams part is still good against them, even if the land sacrifice part is still good, even if the creature kill part is not. So we'll see how this deck goes. I think it's definitely interesting at least, so hopefully it'll be fun to watch. If you are liking the channel, please like and subscribe, and we will be back with round 1. Should I just do this? Probably should. I got a 2/2 in play. Yeah. Skeletal Scrying. That is going to be lethal here. Okay. Game 1 against the Rock. What do we want against them? Maybe Furnace. We did see Recurring Nightmare. We do have Ray already for the potential Pernicious Deed. Actually, we saw Recurring Nightmare and Skeletal Scrying, so yeah, we definitely want this Furnace. I don't know about Tormod's Crypt, though. I don't think we need that. It might be a little overkill. The spray is not like necessarily at its best, but it could still be good to have access to it. I'm not sure. I mean, none of our cards are really horrible. We're on the draw, so Tithe will be better. We could possibly cut a Swords. Yeah, I don't know. I like all our cards. I'm gonna Prim a... Maybe it should just be the Volcanic Spray. I'll cut the spray, and then if we see a lot more than just rats, I'll maybe board it back in for something. Or on the play, if we lose, I'll probably take out one of the tithes, maybe. This hand is not great, but I think it's a keep. If we can get to play our Quiet Speculation, it should be good. And we do have mana fixing, although I guess our deck's pretty chock full of that. I'm used to playing an earlier version where I wasn't trying to play the full like 5-color lands, so it was a lot harder to have the right mana. Okay. I think I can play a basic plains here to avoid some damage from city. Let's get Demon Analysis, Roar of the Wurm, and I don't hate getting the Ray here, just having it available. Okay, there's the deed. Yeah, I wouldn't mind just killing that. I could kill that and deep analysis, or I could get Brushhopper down. I feel like getting a clock down is pretty good. How do you want to do this? Okay, let's play, I'll go ahead and play City of Brass, I guess. I should do this, make sure to do this before playing Mox Diamond. Okay, so Ray, this, play Mox Diamond, discard Undiscovered Paradise. I'm willing to discard these 2 lands to save it. Yeah, I probably am. I tapped wrong here. I took an extra damage I didn't need to. I could have tapped the city for the Ray and then just used colorless with Coliseum. Slight misplay there. Not used to playing all these different weird drawback lands. Okay, they're gonna get my swords. Looks like they're stuck on mana though. I think it makes sense to just get a 6/6 into play while they seem to be a little behind here. Okay. I mean, I'm definitely casting this. I guess, do I want a deep analysis before or after? I don't really know what's going to be good, so maybe I want a deep analysis first. Like, yeah. I suppose I could guarantee not discarding a land, or not sacrificing a land by playing it here, which is probably the right thing to do. Maybe I want to... Of course, then this will be unprotected, so maybe that's not the right thing to do. I think it's probably worth it. I'll return it to my hand, I guess. Three. Okay. The Dreams has emerged victorious. Okay, this is one of those hands you just can't keep. One land reflecting pool. This is better. What do we put back here? This is tricky. Maybe the Brushhopper. Like, I don't know that we're going to have the resources to fully hop up. I guess putting back up planes also could have been a possibility. Okay, this could be a hard matchup, although we do have Silverknight, so that's a good start. I'll just lead with the plains and pass. This Dreams could really get them with the Jackal Pup. I wonder if we're supposed to play Forge here so that we can just Paradise into Dreams next turn. Because if we play Plains, we're not Dreamsing for 2 more turns, unless we draw Mox. I think I am going to do that, despite it costing 1 life. So here we'll see the yin and the yang of main decking pro-red creatures while having a mana base that hurts us very badly. Okay, we're at 14. Vortex. Interesting. All right, so if they don't have Pyroblast here, I think we might be able to win the race by Dreamsing. I could play Paradise, Mox Diamond, but then I would only be able to Dreams for 2. So I probably should just play Paradise Dreams for 3. Jackal Pup deals them 3, this deals them 2, they go to 13, they go to 11, we go to 11. from taking a pain. Wait, sorry. Yeah, so they take 3 down to 15, 2 down to 13, 11 on their upkeep. We go to 11, but then we would be attacking them for 2 every turn. So yeah, in theory, this should work. Okay, let's try it. I mean, if they have Pyroblast, I think we die, but I don't think there's anything we can really do about that. Oh, we could do it for 4. Is there any value in like keeping a random card? I doubt it. Okay, let's do this for 4 then. I mean, I could have played like a Mox Diamond and only done it for 2, but I don't really think that gets me anywhere. Like, doesn't really help. Well, that might have been a good one to have access to. I guess we could still draw land and have access to it somehow. Bolted. Yeah. Okay, well, looks like they are going to be able to race us. Well, we tried. Okay. What else do we want against them? Hydroblasts are good. Zuran Orb is something we want. I guess we could have Quiet Spect for Ray with the Mox. Yeah, maybe that would have been a good idea. I thought we would win that race. Okay, what do we not want? Sylvan Library is probably too slow here. Deep Analysis is not a card we can afford to really play. I don't mind 1 Volcanic Spray, but I don't think I want more than that. Werebear is not really great early. We could probably trim 1 of those. Do we want a Seal of Cleansing? Quiet Spec is also rather slow. And Roar of the Wurm is also pretty slow. Maybe we cut 1 of those and put in a Seal of Cleansing. And then yeah, I think this is fine. I think I have to just kill this now. Otherwise, I think it might deal me too much damage. I think I do want to go get a plains. Price. Yeah, I was worried about that. We might need more than one Zuran Orb here or something. I don't really know that there's much we can do about price progress, to be honest. Ball lightning. Okay. Do I go to 7 and then dreams and hope they don't have any more lands and or burn spells? I probably have to just block. Unfortunate as that is. I do have dreams anyway. Well, I guess that probably answers my question. Dreams for 3 and then hope to rebuild, I guess. Seems kind of bad. slowly getting there. It seems impossible that it will occur in time, but God. Okay. Wow. So lucky. Is this actually going to work? I don't want to hope, but it might. It might be too late now, because even if they draw one land, I think it's not fast enough. Wow. Dreams was successful. Okay, I think I'm going to cut a Tithe now and put back in maybe just another Werebear as some kind of attempt at blocking. I mean, Werebear is not even very good against them. Do I want like another Pyroclasm effect on the draw? I could see it. Yeah, maybe that's better. Maybe just a Pyroclasm. Randomly drawing and hard casting a Wurm also might be a decent way to try and win. Actually, wait, if I'm on the draw, Tithe is better. What am I doing here? Okay. Maybe trim another Werebear. I feel like they just die, like they're not really good to play early. This seems okay. Maybe I should just get rid of all of them. Yep. Don't have a threat, but I have my best card. Well, one of my best cards, and I have a Tithe plus Mox Diamond combo. So I can at least delay the game for a while. Or reset the game, I should say. Okay. That's not bad. I am kind of tempted to not kill it right away and try and get some value off Devastating Dreams. I'm not going to take that much damage from my lands this game. Let's see, so if I play Mox Diamond, discard a brush, or whatever, discard a, yeah, probably discard a Brushland. No, maybe discard, maybe I'm supposed to discard Reflecting Pool. Play Tithe, I get 2 planes, so that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would still have 7 cards. Yeah, okay, so we can do that. I'll discard the planes. And then I will play a planes. Try and protect against Price of Progress. And I think I will not, I'm not going to get rid of this Lavamancer quite yet. I guess this was a little, well, yeah. This is fine. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Dreams for 2 here. Should I wait? Actually, I'm gonna wait 1 turn. See if this ends up being bad, but I'm not under that much pressure right now. Is this wrong? This might be wrong. So take 2 more. They can just empty their hand. They could play something, although I do have Hydroblast. Okay, I'm going to try waiting a turn. So we'll see how badly this goes. Bolt. I don't think I can afford to counter that. They do nothing. Okay, that's not ideal, but it's all right. Okay, I can't really wait any longer now. Lava Dart, could be worse. Okay, that is worse. All right, we're at 9, but we do have 2 Hydroblasts, so. Seal of Fire. Okay, we're at a virtual 7, but they have no cards. I think I do play this. I guess we're at a virtual 6, actually. All right, there's a threat. That's good. And we can swords it if we really need to. I guess I play a plane so that I can Ray plus Hydro plus swords. Sure. incinerate. So let's see, that puts me at 6, 4, 3. I think I gotta let that go because I can't really afford a price of progress to be played right now. Yeah. I still have the swords as like an emergency thing. Tormod's Crypt. That's really annoying. I think I'm actually going to swords my Werebear in response to get some life. Because I'm very low right now. And it seems like it's probably better used. I mean, they could have a creature, but I think I need to do this. Okay. You got me. Ball lightning. All right, well, I gotta kill that. Yeah, actually, I can return these to my hand, and then I'll be a little bit insulated against price of progress. Yeah, there's really no need to play out any of these, unless I draw Roar of the Wurm, which I will want to just hard cast. 2, 3, 4. I guess if that is something that happens, I will want these lands in play. I will do that when it's necessary, I guess. I mean, I suppose I could play out 1. All right, Grim Lavamancer, that is a problem. Silver Knight's good. Might be a little too late, though, at this point. Damn, there it is. Okay, well, I guess I'll start playing out lands now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to preserve my life total as much as possible here. Need to try and draw Zuran Orb. Bolt, yeah, I think I'm just dead. Just didn't draw enough threats early. I guess I shouldn't have boarded out. Although all the cards we drew were good, so yeah, I don't know. Just drew not the right cards. We're dead on board here. I mean, I guess they don't know that we have nothing, but Yeah, we can keep this. Sligh again, okay. All right, well, do we have the luxury of trying to get this Brushhopper down before we dreams? I don't really think so. I suppose the small silver lining here is that we only have to dreams for one. So we can keep a land. I suppose I'll keep the Grand Coliseum. Lost a plains, that's not ideal. Silver Knight isn't bad. I think I'm going to play that instead of flashing back Deep Analysis. I'm kind of scared to do such a thing. Okay, their one land is not... the one land they've drawn is not going to be enough. I don't think. I'm not sure if I need to do this to win, but I want want to make sure that I don't randomly get punked out here. Let's see, if they drew land, they could bolt me to 14 and then untap and double bolt plus Pyroblast to 4. So I guess wasn't actually possible for me to lose there. Well, I don't know. They could have like played a creature to block or something. Whatever. That's what the deck does, so might as well. That does give them information, I guess, about boarding in Crypt, which is actually kind of good against me. Anyway, we can take out Deep Analysis. I think we just board in Hydroblast and Zuran Orb. On the draw, Tithe is fine. It's better. I can board out Sylvan. Oh, maybe Werebear is actually worse than Sylvan. No, that can't be right. Let's board out Sylvan. We did lose by never drawing a threat, so that makes me not want to board out Roar of the Wurm ever. And it makes me hesitant to board out a Werebear, but I think maybe I still will do one. Everything else seems fine, so we'll just play it like that. Yeah, we can keep. So it needs a few things to go right, but we can at least play some swords initially to kill some creatures. See if I do that. Go up to 8, play a land down to 7. Yeah, that's fine. Let's get all the planes out of my deck, I guess. So far, I'm not totally sure that I'm crazy about this Tithe engine, card advantage engine. This might not really be necessary. Seemed like it made sense, but hasn't really been doing a ton. Vortex, yeah, that's a problem. Need that ray. But I don't know. It has been good for facilitating Mox Diamond. Okay. See if this works. Doesn't seem super likely, but we'll give it a try. Interesting. Put them to 6. Yeah, we don't really have any direct damage in our deck. If they don't have a Pyroblast, we could have drawn Dreams there to maybe cut them off of whatever the out would have been, but as it is, I don't think that's going to work. Just make sure they're super dead if they somehow don't kill us. Oh, I made this a 1/1 by flashing this back. Oh well. I mean, it seems like mathematically impossible that we can't be dead here. They're probably just trying to figure out how they want to do it. Yeah, that'll work. Anything will work. Yep. Flooding out does seem to be a little bit of a problem with the deck. Without like deep analysis to draw you some extra cards, which we can't really afford to play. So maybe Sylvan is worth it. I think maybe we can cut a Tithe on the play. We can try playing Sylvan Library instead. Or maybe we just want Werebear even though it's not great, just because we need threats. Could also play another answer to Vortex. This hand is not really good exactly, but I don't think it's supposed to be a mulligan, although it is quite bad. I mean, the Werebear eats at least a few of their, a few of their burn spells. We have our mana kind of sorted. I'm going to try keeping. That's hilarious. Okay. Yeah, I think I just have to play another one. All right. Eating a bolt. It's not the worst. I think maybe I just get one roar and the spray and the ray. Is that right? They could play creature, they could play vortex. I think that makes sense. Ball lightning, okay. That happens. Hilarious. I think I still play it because then my next land turns on Wurm. I'm going to hold back the Zuran Orb for now. I don't think I'm going to die immediately. Jackal-Pup, sure. Okay, I'm going to try and get some value off this Volcanic Spray, I think. If I draw a land, that would be the best thing. All right, that's not very good right now. I think I will just spray the pup. And I guess I'll play this in case I need it at this point. Ball lightning. That is really unfortunate. Maybe they were setting that up. Okay, I need to draw. I need to draw land like right now. Now that is technically a land. Okay. No time to wait any longer. think I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. All right, I'm down to 8. I have a Wurm. If I can just live to my next turn, I have Hydroblast up. A land would be nice. Hey, I actually got one. Incredible. All right, attack for 6. They didn't use scroll. That's wild. Okay, well, I don't think there's anything I could have at this point. Because they can't double, I mean, yeah, it doesn't even matter. I have a Hydroblast. Scrolling the Wurm. Okay, they're going to try and Fireblast the Wurm. All right, we have beaten the Red Menace. All right, hopefully we can play against a different deck this round. This is a good hand. I think I discard the Gemstone here and play Werebear in vacuum. That's pretty good. Yeah, maybe just do that right now. I don't know what we're playing against. Could be Dreadnought. Could be some kind of control deck. I think it makes sense to just get Deep Analysis and maybe 2 Roar of the Worms. And I'll just go ahead and play one of the Deep Analysis right now. Taking a lot of damage here, but what are you going to do? Draw 2 more flashback cards is the answer. This deck is a bit soft to Dreadnought game one. Maybe I should have got another Deep Analysis to dig for swords. But like trying to race with Roar of the Worms also seems somewhat reasonable. I don't know if I need a ton of planes here. I think I'm just going to try and cash this in. Impulse. Getting dazed. Okay. So we could have played around that by just playing Gemstone Mine. Yeah, we kind of have no outs here. Okay. Okay, we don't want Volcanic Spray. We do want Pyroblast. We don't really want Devastating Dreams. Don't think we really want Ray of Revelation. We'll take all of these. So these 6 in, these 6 out. And we should be better set up this way. They do have AK, so I wouldn't hate playing a Furnace also. Tithe is not necessarily at its best here. I think we can, it's okay to cut one of those. All right, let's try that. Yeah, I think that's a keep. Still haven't, okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. But I don't know, I think it still might have been worth doing. To avoid the turn to not. If it does resolve, it makes it a lot harder for them. I think it makes some sense to try and jam this Wurm here. Got dazed again. Feels horrible. Still going to hold the land though because I think we need it for future. We might need it for Brushhopper activations. just need to dig for answers here. Silvernight is not an answer. All right, so we get attacked for 12 down to 3, then we can't flashback deep analysis. So I guess we're gonna have to chump block and go digging further. Yeah, there's no way this is really gonna work, but we'll try it. Yep. All right. Okay, let's see if we can muster a 3 and 2 with this. This hand does not. Yeah, it does not. Well, if we had one more land, it could be all right. But yeah, we probably need to mulligan. Okay, this is more reasonable. I think we just put back Volcanic Spray, because this way we have Brushhopper into Roar of the Wurm, and we have the Mox Diamond to accelerate us, so I think that's okay. Depending on what they're playing, of course, I will wish I had the Volcanic Spray, maybe, but... Okay. The good news is I don't think they'll have a great idea of what to name here. Winter's Grasp. Yeah, that's reasonable. The bad news is they're going to be able to get my Brushhopper, although they didn't do it. Interesting. Survival, okay. Dreams would have gone pretty hard there. All right, well, given their lands in play, I feel like they're probably some kind of combo survival thing. Didn't activate survival, which is odd. I'm very confused about what's going on right now. They just don't have a creature, I guess. What are they trying to do over there? I would put them on, I would assume they're on like full English breakfast maybe, from what I have seen so far. Yeah, if we just had that Volcanic Spray this game, it might have been enough to stop them from doing whatever they're about to do. If they have another creature, I'm very confused why they didn't go get Squee or something a turn earlier. They have Unearth. Now they have a Shapeshifter. Now they have birds. Okay, they just don't have anything. All right. Their deck sort of failed them there. What's good here? I think these cards are all right. We could like trim a couple Werebears, or maybe Silver Knight's worse. like the mana could be important here. Ray is good to kill survival. Maybe I don't need that many things to kill survival. Pyroclasm also might be a little bit much. Trim of swords and another swords. Seems a little counterproductive to cut swords when I'm trying to board this in to kill birds of paradise. Trim a Tithe. Okay. This might be fine. This says dreams. I feel like that could be something that could work here. Let's keep it. Hermit Druid. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a choice. I need to kill this Hermit Druid immediately, I think. I think they can win through one furnace pretty easily, so yep, that's what we're doing. And the question is, do I do it for 2 or 4? I mean, I think I have to just do it, well, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do it for 4, I still keep 2 cards just to get rid of a wall of roots versus 2. They have no lands, they have a wall, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to do it for 4. I think the wall of roots could be good enough to justify that. Unfortunately, I did not keep any lands, but what are you going to do? Okay, so we each have 2 cards in hand and no permanents in play. I think I take the turn off here to quiet spec for spray, roar, and deep analysis. All right. 3 and 2. Okay, so not a bad result. We went 3 and 2. Split our matches against Sligh, lost to Dreadnought pretty soundly, and beat the Rock and Hermit full English breakfast. Devastating Dreams was really good against the Rock and Hermit, and it was okay against Sligh some of the time. Not good against Dreadnought, as we expected, and even boarding in 6 cards, it still felt like a pretty bad matchup. We did kind of get owned by Daze both of the games. I guess I could have played around that differently. Not sure it would have made a huge difference ultimately. Yeah, that seems like it will be a bad matchup for this deck, kind of at least as currently configured. But everything else seemed winnable. As far as changes to this configuration, the Tithes were okay. I could see them swapping out for something else, but I'm not really sure what it would be. I suppose in theory you could just play more lands and play more like utility lands or something. Tithe has the advantage of going to the graveyard, so it helps your threshold a little bit. In terms of tweaks, we could probably cut this Pyroclasm from the board, maybe for another anti-red card, like a Warmth or something. Probably not Circle of Protection, since you are destroying your lands with Devastating Dreams, so we wouldn't really want something that costs mana to activate. I wouldn't mind another anti-Dreadnought card too. I guess that would just be another Disenchant, or, I mean, in theory, you could even play something super hateful. I don't exactly know what that would be, but you do have access to all 5 colors, so you could play something. Other than that, I think it worked out okay. Silverknight was all right. It's a little anemic, but it does live through Devastating Dreams, so I guess has that going for it. The numbers felt pretty good. Maybe we could shave like one of the Tithes. It felt a little bit heavy on lands at times with what is essentially 28 lands and 4 Mox Diamonds. So I could see shaving one of those for something else. Maybe even a Lightning Bolt, or like a, I mean, you could even play some discard or something. You could play a Cabal Therapy to go get. That seems kind of bad though, because we don't have that many creatures. So I don't know. Yeah, sound off in the comments if you have ideas for cards the deck could play. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. But anyway, hope you enjoyed watching the matches, and tune in next time for another probably rogue type deck in Premodern. See you then.